Alrighty, here we go with the AEW Dynamite. With the Dynamite. Here we go with this crazy review. Crazy review, y'all. First off, we start off with Ricky Starks versus Darby Allin. These two have been going at it for weeks. Lord knows they've been fighting each other for so long. The funny thing about this match, soon as the match starts, Ricky Starks, he slapped Darby Allin to start the match. And he just looked at him. He looked at him. He was like, then he started beating him up. Man, they are so funny. But it seemed like they have good chemistry in the ring. So Ricky Starks, he did this suplex to Ricky on the side of the ring, and like his whole, like from that moment on, his whole back was hurting. His whole back was hurting. And Taz on commentary was like, come on, Ricky, suck it up, Ricky. Come on, Ricky, suck it up, Ricky. I'm like, man, I don't know, man. You get a lower back injury on anything, shoot, that hurts. So that was pretty crazy. The outcomes, Brian Cage, he's a part of Team Taz, so Brian Cage come out there, try to cause a distraction, but then Hobbs came out. Hobbs was with John Moxley a few weeks ago, so they kind of got this little tag team thing. But Hobbs came out and he attacked them, and they was fighting outside the ring. Then they went up the ramp and went to the back. But so while that was going on, Darby Allin, he did this crazy suicide dive, and I was like, dang, like Darby, I'm telling y'all, he is a daredevil. Darby Allin is a daredevil. They was going back and forth. Then Ricky Starks, he did this like knee to the face. Oh my God. Whenever they do these vicious moves, man, sometimes a referee be kind of like, you good? Like, they be really hurt. They really do. I'm like, all right, man, like, that's why they said, don't try this at home. Don't be trying no knees to the face to nobody. And them moves will give you a concussion for real. You be zoned out. You really would be. But this match was really good. Darby Allin, he did this flip over power bomb, and I'm like, wow, the moves that they do is just so crazy. But then after that, Ricky Starks, he got up. He got a 2 count from that move, so that was a near fall. Ricky Starks got up. Woo! Did them chops, y'all. Them Ric Flair chops, boy. I was like, there they go with them Ric Flair chops. But it was kind of crazy. But ever since when I was saying earlier, when Darby Allin did that suplex to Ricky on the side of his back, like, it was really hurting him. Like, and it was this one move, yeah, Ricky Starks, he did a superplex. I don't know why he would do that, but he did a superplex from the top rope. They both was in the air and they came down. Man, he was like his whole back was just red, and the lower back too. So it was pretty crazy. But Darby Allin had on this crazy submission, like he was stretching his arms back and everything. And the look on Ricky's eyes, man, it's like he wanted to tap out, but then he had that thing in the back of his head like, Taz would get me if I would tap out. So he got out of that, and it was pretty crazy. So once he got out of that move, they started slapping each other and everything. I was like, what? I was like, where this coming from? I was like, they got so much energy. They were just slapping each other and everything. I was like, oh, that was crazy. So then it's crazy. So then Darby Allin, he went on the top rope, y'all. This was crazy. He was flying towards Ricky Starks, and Ricky Starks did a spear in midair. Oh my god. I thought that was it. I really thought that was it because he was holding his ribs. He was like, oh my god, my ribs. Like, I'm just like, that's why he said this stuff is crazy. But it kept on going. So Darby Allin, he dropped him on the ground, and then once he got on the top rope, he did his his skateboard dive is cool. He do like this, and then he just go back for the and then what was crazy, he did the skateboard dive on his back, so on Ricky's back. So once he did that, he got the victory. I was like, yeah, Ricky ain't kicking out of that. I was like, Ricky ain't kicking out of that. So it was a pretty good match though. So I know they gonna face off again because you know Ricky can't stand Darby Allin. So it's gonna be crazy. Next out, Cody Rhodes come out and man, I was just like, is he gonna accept Brodie Lee challenge to a dog collar match? And it was pretty crazy because JR was like, he called 4 of those matches in his 40 years of, you know, watching wrestling and stuff. So at first, Kobe said no. So he walked out the ring. I was like, okay. But then once he got to the second step, and he was just, he stood there, and then he turned back, and then he came back to the ring, and he was like, you know what? He said, no, I will accept. So he accepted the match, the dog collar match with him and Brodie Lee. And then out of nowhere, Brodie Lee just came running to the ring. They was fighting each other and everything. And it was about like, felt like the whole entire arena was trying to get them two off each other. So the first time when Brodie Lee left the ring, I was like, he gonna come back. So he walked up he walked up the ramp a little bit. He was kind of trying to not, well, he was trying to turn away from his from his group, the Dark Order, and then he just stormed right back to the ring and started beating up Cody some more. I was like, man, now y'all don't know Brodie Lee. His name is Luke Harper from the Wyatt family. That was a crazy group a few years ago. So he's the TNT champion. He beat Cody Rhodes before for the title, but this time it's going to be a dog collar match. So I know it's going to be brutal. And another crazy thing, Brandy Rhodes, Cody's wife, came out there and she did a suicide dive on like 15 people. I said, God, top man, she is crazy, just like Cody. So I know that's going to be a good match. And also, Nia Rose came out there and she was attacking people. She came out there and was attacking some fans as well, too. I said, damn, it's going to be crazy. So next we had FTR. They was interviewing with Tony Khan, and they was basically saying the best friends, Trent and Chuck, they are with Orange Cassidy as well. Like, all of them are best friends. So basically, FTR was saying that they don't deserve the tag team titles. And they said the Young Bucks don't deserve the tag team titles as well, because the Young Bucks lost the Revolution to Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, and they had other opportunities. And they said best friends, all they do is backyard wrestling. So I was like, man, look, best friends, they are a good tag team. I think eventually they will be the tag team champions. And then out of nowhere, Nick Jackson came out there and super kicked Tony Khan again. I was like, wow, like, why they keep doing that though? I don't know. I guess they just want some attention. But I guess the Young Bucks, they want them titles, but I think they going about it the wrong way by hitting the owner, Tony Khan. So That was pretty crazy. Then we had SCU. They was interviewing about FTR, and they said they ready to be the tag team champions. So, and they said they was the first tag team champions in October 2019, and they wanna win tonight. So that's what led it to this SCU versus FTR 20-minute time limit match. And for the most part, this was a really good match. It went back and forth. Scorpio Sky was flying all over the ring. Frankie, he has some crazy moves to FTR, but FTR, I really feel like they are a good tag team. It's just kind of crazy they got to cheat the win, though, just like they did last week. But like I said, FTR, they are a good tag team. They always tagging in and out to keep the other person fresh and stuff. But I like to say Scorpio Sky almost had FTR. Scorpio Sky, he had like 4 near falls on FTR, the winner titles. And there was one time where he did this victory roll and the referee was turned around. I'm like, oh my God, like here we go with the referee being turned around, not paying attention. So that kind of killed all that momentum. But the turning point was crazy. Dasher, he did a suplex on Scorpio Sky, but his feet was near the apron. So once he pinned him, their manager grabbed his feet so he couldn't kick out. And I was like, yo, come on, like that was pretty crazy though. I'm like, that's how they did last week. It's like they always cheat the win. But overall, it was a good match though. It was a good match. It's just a shame that SCU had to lose that way though. But I think one day FTR, and then it was 20 minutes as well too. So I feel like that's giving them another advantage, because you only got 20 minutes to beat a good tag team. You kind of got to do things fast. So that was pretty crazy. And also, Hangman Page was on commentary, and they had told him that Kenny Omega is in the tournament for the AEW World Championship match. So he was kind of surprised. He was like, really? And then he just got up and walked off. So I was just like, wow, like that was pretty crazy though, really was. Cause I know Hangman Page, he really wants to go after them tag team titles, but he might have to find another partner. Cause I don't think Kenny already said the other week that he's focusing on his single career, so I guess he's done with that. Next up, we had Isaiah Cassidy with Matt Hardy. This was his first. Now, Isaiah Cassidy is with Private Party with Mark Quinn. So it was Isaiah Cassidy versus the demo god, Chris Jericho. Judas in my mind. That's right. Judas in my mind. That's right. That's the demo god, Jericho. Jericho started this match off by shoving Isaiah Cassidy's face. Like he just did this to his face. I'm like, dang, man. He did that like 3-4 times. Like, man, look, I don't care, scripted or not, man. Somebody do this to. He should have just started fighting him. But after the third time he did that, and Isaiah Cassidy was just all over Jericho, was hitting him, and then Isaiah Cassidy did this Hurricanrana on him, and Jericho went out the ring, and I was like, see, outside the ring was in a circle. So that was Jack Hager, that was Santana Ortiz. Like, I'm like, you better stay away from them because they will try to get involved in it. And so they did. So once Isaiah Cassidy hit the ropes again, Jack Hager, he like elbowed his back, and Matt Hardy was mad, boy, because Matt Hardy was on the other side of the ring like, hey, get them. So it was pretty crazy. But I think Jericho was toying with him. Like, I don't think he was really taking him serious at first, because Jericho, you know Jericho, he was just, when people were saying the Judas song, he was torn with them. But Jericho, he got back down to his senses. Jericho, he did a standing suplex to Isaiah Cassidy, and I was like, wow, he had him in the air for at least about like maybe like 34, almost a minute, and then he dropped him on the ground, and then Matt Hardy was like, come on, Isaiah, get up. I was like, see, so I like Matt Hardy, always a good coach. But this was crazy, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Isaiah Cassidy did Jericho's finishing moves. He did the lion salt on him. That, I was like, and he got a 2 count. And then he got up. He did the code breaker on Jericho. I was like, oh, I'm like, all right, Jericho, you going to have to put this guy away, because he doing your finishing moves. So then Jericho, he did his own lion salt and stuff, and got a 2 count from that. So once Isaiah Cassidy got on that top turnbuckle, I was thinking like Judas effect. That's the back elbow. So Isaiah, he flew off the top rope, and Jericho, I think I was right. Jericho nailed that Judas effect, that elbow. And I mean, he was out. He was out cold. As soon as that elbow hit him, like right here, he was. And Jericho just pinned him for the victory for that. Like, I think when Jericho catches you in that Judas effect from the top rope, it's more effective though. So I was like, wow, this Jericho, I'm telling you, Jericho is a legend. So next week he's gonna celebrate 30 years of wrestling on Dynamite. It's gonna be good, and I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's gonna be fun though. But then after that, Jericho and Jack Hager, they was fighting some people out in the crowd and stuff, and I was like, what's going on? Like dang, it's like the one half of the crowd like Jericho, the other half. So it's kind of like you got the good crowd, you got the bad crowd. So the bad crowd that didn't like Jericho just started trying to hit Jericho, and they got over the apron, and I was like, wow, I ain't never see this before. So I was like, well, I guess that's what Jericho and Hager get, but I was like, see, if all the inner circle was down there, they probably would have took out the whole crowd anyway. But it was still a good match, though. I think Isaiah had it. This was his first singles match. I think it was a good match, though. And I know he'll have a good career as well, too. So next we had a little segment with Kip Sabian and Rusev. Looked like they was just playing some games in the store. They was competing against each other. So I thought that was pretty cool though. It was good to see Kip Sabian and I think I probably said Rusev, but his name is Miro. So it was still good to see both of them. It was pretty good. Next we had Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. They had a little interview backstage talking about FTR. And basically FTR saying the same thing. Y'all never get a title shot, da-da-da-da. And Orange Cassidy just being so cool, walk past. Orange Cassidy so cool. He just walked past him with the shades on, and I was like, Orange Cassidy is funny. But next he did have a match with the number 10, the number 10 with Dark Order. So it's a number 10 with Dark Order. A number 8 is so crazy. But they had a pretty good match. It was a pretty good match. Yeah, the number 10, he did a standing suplex on Orange Cassidy, got a 2 count. He did a spine buster on Orange Cassidy. But Orange Cassidy, he had to get himself together because last week he was facing Brodie Lee for the TNT title. So JR and Taz was like, well, maybe he's just like, he he's not feeling this match because he got to get himself together. And that's what he did. Once he got himself together, he put his hands in his pocket, and then he started running around the ring, and then he started getting all this crazy momentum. He did this spinning DDT on number 10, and then he took off because he got like an elbow pad. He took that off. He did like this, and he did his boom, like Superman. He did a Superman punch to number 10. I was like, yeah, he out from that. And then this last move, he did like a man, he slammed him on his neck for the victory. I was like, wow. I was like, yeah, see, Orange Cassidy, I think Jericho really, he woke something out of Cassidy. So I was just like, that was a pretty good match. Though, it really was. But next we had this another crazy funny segment. MJF gave Jericho a gift. He gave him like this jacket with Jericho name on it and stuff. So he had everybody a jacket except for Sammy. And so Warlord and Jack Hager was looking at each other and it looked like they was about to fight, but Jericho pulled Hager back and MJF put Warlord back. I was like, I'd like to see that match. Like, they both the same size. Like, that would be a good match. But Jericho was like, do you want to join the Inner Circle? MJF, they both said it at the same time. He was like, well, I was thinking if you want me to join the MJF, it's up to you, Jericho. And Jericho was like, do you want to join or what? I was like, I don't know. Like, if MJF joins the Inner Circle, I think that would be pretty cool because then they would be even more powerful. There would be like 7 people in there. So, I don't know. If MJF joins, I think that would be cool. So we will see. Next up, we had the return of Britt Baker with Reba versus this wrestler, Red Velvet. And they said her overall wins and losses was 0-7. So I was like, okay. She's a pretty good wrestler. She had on all red. She had like red and black hair. So she was doing good for a little while. I think she's still a rookie though. So I was like, it's cool. I guess if a wrestler coming back, they don't want them to face the top competition. So Britt Baker had to face somebody that's not really in her class, as they say. But Britt Baker pretty much dominated this match. And she was just having her way with her. She did a super kick on her. She did a sling blade. I was like, dang, Seth Rollins do sling blade. Finn Balor, now Britt Baker. Like, that sling blade is a pretty cool move, but you gotta do it right though. So Britt Baker, Britt Baker got this victory too, by the way. And she had her in this submission like this. And looked like, I don't know what I think looked like she was trying to pull her teeth out or something. I don't know what she was trying to do. She was just making a very good statement. Like, she's back in the division and she wants Sheeta's world title. I mean, the women's championship. So I think that would be pretty good though. If it be Britt Baker versus Sheeta for the women's championship, that would be a good match though. So next for the main event, we had we had Jon Moxley versus the Butcher. So Eddie Kingston came out there and he picked the Butcher. So the Butcher, he has a tag team partner, the Blade, so they call Butcher and Blade. So the Butcher came out there and he attacked Moxley from behind. And he did this big slam to Moxley. And then he started working on his leg. Like, Jon Moxley, his leg was just, he couldn't even stand up for a while. Like, and it was to the point where I thought the referee was going to stop the match. But Moxley was like, nah. So Moxley kept on fighting. The Butcher, he had him in his single leg submission. Like, Moxley was in a lot of pain. But you know Moxley, y'all, he was a fighter. He started fighting back. he did these big chops to him. He was doing these big forearms and everything. And I was like, go ahead, Moxley, go ahead, Moxley. But then the Butcher caught him in that same move again, the big slam, and he got a 2 count. And the turning point of the match was when the Butcher ran into the steel pole outside the ring. So that was pretty crazy. I was like, yeah, Butcher is out. So Moxley got him back in the ring. He did the power driver. I was like, wow, y'all, these power drivers by Jon Moxley is just vicious. So he did the power driver, got a 2 count. But then Moxley did his finishing move. He hooked both his arms like this with his head right here and did a DDT on the mat. And then he had him in his submission. It's like a bulldog choke. Like, he was out. Like, as soon as he did the DDT move and he did just like this, like, I really felt like it seemed like Moxley, he just kept choking him, and then this just how Butcher was, and the referee was like, that's it. I was like, damn, man, Moxley taking people, like, he choking people out. So Moxley got the victory, and that was a crazy match. For Moxley to start off with a leg injury, and then to end the match making Butcher tap out. Eddie Kingston couldn't believe it. He was throwing stuff around the ring, and I was like, that's it. Like, Moxley still a champion. But I hope everybody enjoyed the review. Woo! This is a good review though, but it's just always a lot of action in AEW. Next week is going to be good because we're going to have Brodie Lee and Cody Rhodes in their dog collar match. I know that's going to be crazy. That's the main event. So you know, main event is always going to be crazy. But I really enjoyed this show. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. And for bonus, Judas in my mind. Judas in my mind. Judas is in my mind. With the dynamite. With the